Hey there, Tane Richardson for Explode Creative Caricature Tutorials. It's been a while. This one's all about flattering the female subject. So if you're in public and you're drawing a female subject, it's nice to be able to give them a caricature they're happy with, and that's very important to me. So I've developed a few tricks and a few guidelines you can use to give them a caricature they're actually happy with, and everyone's happy that way. So thinking back to, if you saw my advanced exaggeration techniques video, one of my first uploads, it was all about, there was three techniques to get a good likeness, a good exaggeration. The first technique was to decide whether you wanted to exaggerate the forehead or the chin, and it was one or the other. So if we're going to exaggerate, you know, this is either green here, so let's say we decide to exaggerate the forehead, just like that, and it comes down to a tiny chin. But what if we wanted to exaggerate the chin? Like, is that a good idea? Let's have a look. No, it's not a good idea because they look like men when you exaggerate the chin. So here's the thing. If you want to draw celebrities, mess around with it, have fun, but if you want to make women happy with your caricatures, don't give them big, manly chins. They'll be like, what's going on? Do I look like that? Am I Quasimodo? What have you done to me? So if we're going to exaggerate the chin or the forehead, let's forget about the chin. And for females, let's just exaggerate the forehead, because as well as giving them youthfulness, it makes them kind of cute. So if we're going to have a look at either green... Oh, also the next thing is the T shape, and that is the shape between the eye and the nose, just like that. So that's Eva Green's T shape, and here we go with Cate Blanchett's T shape. So they're pretty much on par, except Cate Blanchett is a little bit more squinty. So the T shape is very important. But as well as that, what I find is possibly the most important element for likeness with females is the slant of the eyes. So the outer eye, you got to have a look at whether it slants downwards or whether it slants upwards. And I'm talking about eyeshadow. You know, if you're seeing a lot of these actresses have eyeshadow. Let's have a look at Eva Green's eyes, and I can see that they kind of curve down. So, and by curve down I mean that the left side of the eye starts higher than the outer eye. So the outer eye is going to curve down. And let me show you. I mean, this is it here. That's curving down. But Cate Blanchett, let's have a look. What's she got? She's got some pretty squinty eyes, but her eyes seem to kind of slant up. Just like that. And then we can just put a bit more eyebrow in there for good measure. As you can see, that's from the inner to the outer, that's slanting up. Same goes for the opposite eye. So do take note of the slant of the eyes, because that's a huge thing. Apart from the head shape, I mean, the eyes, if you can get those right, the slant is gonna do you well. So let's have a look at I think the last technique in that video, advanced exaggeration techniques, was it was elasticity, which was the idea that if you've got a ball of putty and you press it in on one side, then the other side's got to kind of match. What is it? Yeah, well, whatever. I'm going to stop thinking about the terms for it. But that was quite important when you're doing funny caricatures for men and stuff like that. But if you're doing women, I mean, we've just got like a bit of a formula here. We've got like a big forehead, and depending on how thin the face is, maybe it's like that thin, or maybe it's that thin, or maybe it even comes all the way out to here, I don't know, for Oprah or something. But yeah, you want to kind of hang around with this sort of thing. So once we've got the head shape, let's have a look at the head shape. Let's have a look at Eva Green's head shape. And I'm going to say huge forehead. And comes right down to small chin. It's up to you whether you want to exaggerate the ears. I mean, check out that. It's kind of, maybe it's the earring pulling it out or something, but I don't know. We'll play it safe. We'll just do some normal ears. Eva Green kind of has her hair pulled back a lot. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so if you're exaggerating the top of the head, you know what? I'm going to move on to do the head shape for Cate Blanchett, and then we can compare. Now she's got some hefty cheeks, and those cheeks kind of poke out even when she's not happy. So, let's get that big forehead in the bag, and let's cheek the heck out. See what we get. Now there's a bit of a lean to the left there, so I'm gonna kind of bring it back out. Okay. And we'll obviously want to play around with those shapes once we start putting in the eyes and the nose and stuff like that. I'm sorry if this video goes a bit slow. I just want to show you everything I've got in the toolbox so you can have a go with it. So let's start off with doing the... let me just finish off her stuff. So back to Eva Green. Big forehead means you want to put the eyes and the eyebrows way down. And take note of where that bump is between the forehead and the cheeks. That's kind of where you want to put the eyes. That's the whole point of that bump being there. Okay, so Eva Green's eyes, as we found out before, they turn down. So let's play that up, like, a lot, because her eyes are a hugely distinctive part of her face. We can even upstroke on the eyebrows if need be. Doesn't look like her eyebrows really connect with her eyes that much. So I'll pull them away from the eyes so there's a bit of space between the eyes and the eyebrows. Remember, caricature is not just about the shapes, it's about the space between them, even more so. So if we're going to continue doing the eyes, we can draw in the irises. For the iris, I just do a circle with a little, it's like a C kind of thing like that. Depends on how dark or light their eyes are. So if the eyes are quite light and the iris is quite small in the middle, I'll pull the iris size way down. Ooh. We get cross-eye going on there. Just pull them all around until it looks like the subject is looking at you. Okay, so we've got a bit of space between whatever that's called and the pupil. That's the word I'm looking for, the iris and the pupil. So Eva Green's eye shadow is a huge distinctive part of her look. So what we can do, and this is a really this part I'm about to do is just put in the outer eyebrow. And that basically just connects that the upper, lid and the bottom lid together. And of course I wanted it to slant down, so that arrow kind of slants down. It's just a triangle and it's slanting down, and I'm going to do it the other side as well. And if you do this to your female subjects, it totally looks cool and they love it. Because I guess it's a big thing to do with beauty. I don't know. It's all good. But there's the eyes for her. Let's remember that T shape. It's basically, with her, it was pretty much equal all around. The nose was a little bit more pulled in, I guess. So we could select that. Now with the noses, I'm going to just say this. One line is enough. That's it. Just do an anime nose. You don't need to do the nostrils or anything. Do an anime nose and your ladies are going to be totally stoked with that. Let's pull this ear down a little bit because it's a bit up out of there. Usually the ear goes between the eye and the nose, so that's cool. Okay, so moving on to Cate Blanchett. Let's have a look at her eyes. Her eyes, they of course slant upwards as we figured out before. Maybe not so heavy on the eyeshadow. And they're super duper squinty. So let's squint them up a bit. And remember, we do our outside of the eyes eyebrow, whatever the heck, eyeliner, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. That could be okay. Things always change when you put more stuff in, you always move stuff around. Okay, so let's just put in the iris and the pupil. Kind of looks like a demon right now, but that all changes in colouring. Let's even pull this down further and just squint. We need more squint. This is Cate Blanchett, for crying out loud. Okay, so let's put in the nose. And what did we think about the T shape before? Pretty much all of equal length. If you don't know what I'm talking about with this T shape, imagine like if their nose was that big, then that would be a long nose. Or conversely, if their nose was up there, then you would exaggerate that as well. But we've got some pretty normal looking T shapes here, and you'll find that in a lot of actresses, in a lot of high paid actresses. I guess this is like the golden mean of T shapes in female faces, and that's why they get paid the money. So, you know, as well as being highly skilled. So I could do a nose like that for maybe a more mature woman with just a hint of a nostril on one side. Now let's see how we're doing with this cheek. Let's draw in this cheek here. Okay, I want that to just kind of come up under there. Okay, well, we'll draw the mouth in and we'll see how we go from there. So, what's next? We're going to... well, look, we've done the head shape and the T shape are the two most important things you can do in the female face. But let's have a look at the lips. That's another great thing. That's probably the third thing, and that and the hair, and you're good with the likeness. If you can get those, just be more observant and check them out. So let's have a look at the lips. Her lips, she's got, her upper lip is as big as the bottom lip, which is not an entirely common human trait. Normally the bottom lip is bigger than the top lip. In Cate Blanchett, the bottom lip is a little bit bigger. Normally I actually have a look at the dark part between both lips. Sometimes there's like a dip in it like that, or even like a catty upwards dip. And even take advantage of dimples, because sometimes they're a big part of the likeness. Oh, she's got dimples. We'll check that out next. But Eva Green, she's just got some pretty normal lips, I guess. We can exaggerate the top lip, but let's have a look at this. She's got kind of a, I don't know, is it an ironic kind of smile, where the bottom, the outside of the lip kind of curves down and then back up. So let's observe that and draw it in. So now we can do the bottom lip. And just keep drawing until it kind of feels like that subject. Because some of these are looking a bit like Donkey Kong, really. And the upper lip, which we'll choose a really thin line for. Let's see if we can make it happen. Okay, that's good enough. Get that out of the way. So we've got the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. One more little detail you might want to add, depending on the subject, is that tiny little, you know, cheek. If they're smiling, put some cheek in there, and don't. Look, I'm telling you what not to do. It's you can take it or leave it. This is how I do it. But I'm saying don't kind of connect it all the way up to there, because then she looks old. Just kind of keep it around the edge of the mouth like that, and you'll have a good time. Let's bring the chin in even more, just so that the rest of her face is more noticeable. Okay, that kind of looks like her. So moving on to Cate Blanchett. What have we got here? She's got... we better observe the hair so we can get a decent likeness out of it. Follow the shape of the hair. Ooh. Okay, now onto the juicy stuff. Let's have a look at Cate Blanchett's lips. So she's got a fairly dark line between her lips. So let's play that up. And her lips kind of seem wide, like they just take over her face. Even though they're not big, they're kind of long lengthways. So we can draw that in and just adjust her face to suit. There's always some adjustment with the face shape. I mean, in digital, in traditional stuff, I mean, I guess you'd have to grab the eraser and play around with that, but grabbing a thinner one for the bottom lip and an even thinner one for the top lip. Okay, So she's... The reason she's looking creepy right now, I mean, it looks like her, but we haven't actually done the eyebrows. So let's do that. And I'm just looking at the way her eyebrows look in this one. They start off quite fat and then curve upwards thinly. I'm not sure if you can see that. I'll zoom in. Always observe the shape of the eyebrow. So we've got fat there and then just kind of skinny. Like that. That's an exaggerated expression. But if we move right along, if you'll allow me to zoom out, you cheese. What are you doing? Come on, son. Zoom out. Okay. Okay. And what the heck are we doing? Oh yeah, the eyebrows. And we want to be careful with the eyebrows because we don't want to make her look angry. I want to play around with the shape of these eyebrows because I want to actually make the inner part of the eyebrows thicker than the outer. And there's no stroke type that does that automatically. So I'm going to expand the appearance of both eyebrows and basically just draw a thicker part. Maybe not that thick. It's a bit ridiculous. There we go. That's probably okay. If I find that too much, I can just move it around vertically, stretch it upwards vertically, and it'll thin out both parts of the eyebrow. You might want to play around with whether it looks more like them with the eyebrows further from the eyes or with the eyebrows closer to the eyes. Just move your facial expressions around and see how it works for you. Okay, that looks enough like her that I could proceed, I guess. So let's have a look at one more thing. Oh, before, I think I did say that you don't want to kind of connect this to the nose. But in mature ladies, we might want to just... you do want to tone it down. I mean, this is Cate Blanchett though. She's got those lines going on like no tomorrow. But you do want to kind of tone it down for, if this was someone in front of me, I would probably just leave it at, let's go to the eraser, at that. Sort of thing like that. But this is Cate Blanchett. I mean, heck, let's go all out. She's not going to see this, or if she does, then she's got nothing better to do. Let's draw in the neck. And with females, always just a really thin neck. And small shoulders, and whatever clothing you want to draw underneath there. And you might have noticed that I don't even bother with inner ear detail. I used to, but I like to save time now and not do any detail in the ears. So that's basically one of the most important principles, well, 5 of the most important principles. The head shape, and I exaggerate the forehead more than anything. The T-shape, which is the length between the eyes and the nose. The slant outwards of the eyes, which is a huge thing. The way the lips look. So remember, some people have dips in the lips, or even sometimes straight lips, or even lips that curve down and then come back up like that. And of course the hair, which is pretty easy. You Can't really get that too badly wrong. Okay, so we've come to this point. We've done all the meaty stuff. We've been able to get a likeness without infuriating the subject. If you want to cut this video off right now, you're good to go. Play around with it. Here's a little bonus round. I'm just going to colour these caricatures in case you want to know how to do that. Here's just how I do it. Really loose lines. So that the space between the colouring and the black lines can act as a sort of key light. Then I fill in the eyes, and remember when we're filling in the eyes, keep the slant of the eyes in mind so you don't accidentally make the whites slant down or up or whatever you don't want to do. Have a look at the eye colour. So we've got blue. I'm going to pick a blue. It's kind of a steely grey blue, so let's go. And you notice I did a C shape there, so there's still a bit of white where that pupil was, the dip in the pupil. So I didn't draw around, I drew, whatever. I'm going to opacity down on this and do the same for the other eye. Okay. If you want to beautify up the eye a little bit more, you can do another shine. So do that next to the pupil. Oh, by the way, I'm doing all this on a layer underneath the black line art. So when I did those white dots, reflections in the eyes, they sat underneath the black pupil, which is still on the line art layer, which works for me. It looks great. And we could probably even put some shine on the nose just by drawing a little white dot there, a little white dot on the cheek. And let's put in the lipstick, of course. Now, sometimes when you put in your lipstick it can look like a transvestite. Play around with it until you kind of get a happy, healthy look and not like a kind of clown. Sometimes you can even just okay. I find that if I follow the mouth around too much with the top lip, it can look, oh sorry, with the bottom lip, like that, it can look a bit clowny. So I kind of cut the bottom lip off quite short before it gets to the end of the black line art of the lips. Okay, if we're happy with that, and I'm just about happy, we can put some shine on the lips. And I'm just drawn two little white circles there. Yeah, there's something really kind of bad makeup-y about this right now. I can't pick it. I'll probably come back to it. Sometimes when you look at your images and you're working on them, you're thinking, you suddenly do something, you think, that looks good, but there's something weirdly wrong with it. Just go on to something else, come back to it, and you'll figure it out. I'll probably forget about it. I mean, whatever. Probably looks good to other people. You know how it is. So let's get some hair color in there. I'm just going to select pretty neutral dark grey. And so I've left space between the outside, but not the inside. Of the hair. So it kind of, there's some key light on the outside, but not here. It kind of needs to connect to the forehead. I find that is the case. I wonder if she'd like a bit of shine up there as well. She's got a big kind of shiny forehead, I guess. So Eva Green's hairstyle just changes all the time. It's hard to kind of pin down a hairstyle that is like, you know, part of her identity. I guess everyone kind of saw her in what's that Bond movie? Whatever, whichever Bond movie it was. And she had short cropped hair and looked kind of like that, I guess. So we could stick it with that. It's yeah. That's another important thing. When you get images to work from of a person, make sure they look like that person. Because seriously, when I went into Google and looked for Eva Green, literally 85% of the images didn't look like how Eva Green looks to me. Like I couldn't recognize her, it just looked like another lady. So I had to pick through a bunch of Eva Green images and find some that actually look like her to me. Everyone's got a different perception. Everyone's got a different perception of beauty, everyone's got a different way they recognize their friends. So here's something you can do is you can either do a bit of white shine up in there like that, and that looks pretty cool pretty much most of the time. Or if you've got a bit more time on your hands, you can go ahead and do the old Power Rangers zigzag. Get a bit of a shine thing going on there. It follows the flow of the hair. Or you can try to bring some lines up from the top of the hair. Get some shine going on like that. But I like to save a lot of time for myself and just do that old sunspot, which seems to work out pretty much most of the time. So that's all good. Oh, you know what? She's got eyeshadow. So let's bring that in. And like not too dodgy, but just a little bit there to connect her eyes to her eyebrows. There we go, that's the Eva Green, that's what's been missing. Jeez, there's always some little element. Okay, so moving right along. We could even bring the chin in a little bit more, make it a bit more cutesy. There we go, super cute. Okay, so Kate Blanchett, same process for her. I'm just gonna rip through this and, you know, do it all same way I've done it for generations. Oh, I forgot to do a layer beneath the line art. Okay, so remember, skin, eyes, eye whites. This is the colouring process. Depending on the way you want to do it, we could change the swatches of her eyebrows now because her eyebrows aren't really that dark. More of like a redhead type of eyebrow. And let's get let's do the lips. And if you're wondering about where all these swatches are coming from, and you go, these are swatches I've made myself. Just by picking different colours that I like and adding them to the graphic styles and then saving a library of graphic styles for myself, which really quickens up the whole process. So I can make shorter videos for you guys. This one's dragging on a bit, but... Okay, what do we got here? Maybe just one circle of shine. There we go. And of course one little cutesy circle of shine on the nose. Let's have a look at how to do the hair. So she's got kind of blondish, reddish hair. Let's start with the blonde. Start with the light bits first and then darken with the rest. This is good actually because there are a lot of hair types that have different shades in them and it's quite annoying because it kind of blows out your time unless you're happy with just sticking with one swatch for the hair. And we can just kind of frizzle up the bottom of those. Just like that, I guess. So we've got that shade of the hair. Let's make sure that bottom jaw connects to that chin, to be honest. So let's have a look at the rest of this. We've got that hair color. You can stick with that if you like. I like to go in and give it some shade because it's kind of gives it some cool depth and stuff when you do that. Here we are on the line layer again. Bring it back. Alright. And I'm just doing a bunch of the same swatch underneath where there would be shadow. And you can just put a bunch of swizzles in if you like, and it'll might even add to it. It takes a bit of jiggling around, for want of a better term, to get some cool hair effects. See, this is the kind of thing that blows out your time a bit if you really want to do this. And no kidding, this is gonna probably double the time of the original drawing. But it's just so cool. It really is cool. I'm gonna give you everything I've got in the toolbox. All the cool things that I've developed or learnt. Okay, so what have we got here so far? It's looking good there. Bring some darkened areas up into the top. That piece of hair there is going to fold down, so that it's going to have a bit of darkness underneath there. Might be a bit of shadow behind the neck. And maybe a few lines to depict the way the hair is flowing. Even like a Power Ranger zigzag of dark if you want. Oop. Doesn't often work out. You have to be pretty kind of skillful with the pen. So I kind of avoid it. I'm pretty OCD with that kind of thing. Okay, what do we got here? This looks good enough. What I'm going to do is I want to turn the opacity down of all those dark bits that I just made on the hair. So I'm going to select one and hit select same fill color and find the opacity, chuck it down to 50. Okay, there we go. That's pretty much old Blanche dog ready to rumble. And of course, some hair shine if you want, with a solid white, just like that, or even adding in a bit of shine to the edges of some of these hair areas, which is always pretty cool. Depending on how you play it. Don't want to overdo it, which is kind of what I end up doing sometimes. Sorry. It's an incredibly humid day and I'm losing my shite. Okay, there we go. Alright. Yeah, it looks fairly good, I suppose. It's got a likeness, so, you know, we can just kill it off right now. That's about it. Thanks for watching, and yeah, enjoy, comment, rate, subscribe, cough, whatever you want to do.